outrageous, flamboyant. Wow, he just exploded onto the scene.
It's my time, Macho time!
With a sneak peek of some of what we'll learn from Macho, the Hector Camacho story, thank you so much for being with us.
In a sport built on violence and discipline, he was chaos in motion. He danced, he taunted, and he mesmerized. He was a fighter and a performer. But behind the glitter and bravado was a man haunted by demons. This is the story of Hector Maco Camacho, a boxing genius undone by the very fame he chased.
Earlier today, boxing lost another one of its own with the passing of Hector Macho Camacho at the age of 50.
Macho time. The tragic brilliance of Hector Camacho. 1. The birth of Macho. Born in Bayamon, Puerto Rico, and raised in the tough streets of Spanish Harlem, young Hector Camacho didn't have much, but he had fire and fists. Ain't nobody can touch me, man. I was born to fight. Trouble followed him like a shadow. Juvenile detentions, street fights, arrests. But inside a worn-out boxing gym, he found his escape. By 15, Camacho was already being whispered about in local boxing circles. By 18, he was national news. 2. A star is born. Speed, swagger, style. Camacho didn't just win, he entertained. He wasn't trying to be the next Ali. He was trying to be the first Macho. In 1983, the boxing world was put on notice. Against the rugged Rafael Limon, Camacho delivered a masterclass. Limon was tough. Camacho was transcendent. The WBC super featherweight title was his, and with it, superstardom. 3. Fame, fashion, and flaws. Camacho wasn't just a boxer. He was a pop culture phenomenon. He brought hip-hop to the ring. Gold chains, mohawks, leopard trunks. Even his entrances became events. But behind the flash was a tactician. A southpaw sniper with footwork so elusive, it frustrated legends. In 1985, he captured the WBC lightweight title and looked unstoppable. Analyst 1. He had the fastest hands I've ever seen. Analyst 2. But there was always a danger with Camacho. Not in the ring. Outside it. 4. The cracks appear. As his victories piled up, so did his problems. The pressure of fame, the temptations of excess, and the ghosts of his past began to resurface. Cocaine, street violence, arrests. His brilliance was still evident, but the hunger, the killer instinct, some said it was fading. Others believed he was protecting something more fragile than pride, his sanity. Battles with the greats, Ron, Leonard, Chavez, De La Hoya, and Trinidad. He claimed emphatic wins over Roberto Duran, twice, and scored a dramatic TKO over Sugar Ray Leonard in 1997. His showdown with Julio Cesar Chavez in 1992 at super lightweight was thrilling. His chin was tested before Chavez won a decisive decision. Camacho also faced Oscar De La Hoya and Trinidad, holding his own in high-profile, high-stakes scrambles. Wins against fading legends like Duran and Leonard showed his late career ability to mix grit with ringcraft. These marquee bouts made him a feared and respected fighter across 2 boxing eras. Never forgotten, always dangerous. 5. Legends collide. July 1992. The Macho Man faced the Mexican legend, Julio Cesar Chavez, in one of the most anticipated fights of the decade. Camacho didn't win that night, but he earned respect. He took a beating and kept standing. Bloodied, battered, unbroken. He hit hard, yeah, but I'm still pretty. 3 weight class champion and historic pioneering Camacho captured world titles in super featherweight, 1983, lightweight, 1985, and junior welterweight. He made history as one of the first Puerto Rican fighters to win belts in 3 different divisions. During a dominant stretch, he remained unbeaten in 38 fights between 1980 and 1991. He even earned a rare distinction for unconventional tactics, like losing a title for refusing the customary glove touch. He was also the first world champion to fight on the same card as his son, Hector Jr., in 2005. His multi-weight success inspired younger Puerto Rican boxers and marked him as a trailblazer in global boxing culture. 6. The fall. The 90s weren't kind. The speed slowed. The reflexes dulled. But he kept fighting, sometimes for money, sometimes for relevance, always for pride. The man who once lit up Madison Square Garden was now a novelty act. But Macho never quit. Not when the crowd thinned. Not when the lights dimmed. 7. A complex legacy. Camacho was a paradox, a caring father, and a troubled addict, a genius in the ring, and a reckless soul outside it. He'd been shot at, arrested, and even jailed, but always he came back swinging. Camacho Jr. He was my hero, but he was also my biggest challenge, the double-edged sword of stardom. Camacho's fame brought wealth and attention, but also spirals of cocaine use, alcohol, and personal chaos. He faced legal trouble, burglary in 2007, drug possession arrests, and numerous altercations and traffic violations. Domestic tensions spilled into public view, with restraining orders filed by his ex-wife and violent accusations. Despite declaring he'd reform, Camacho admitted, "I'm a champion, but I'm a junkie first." His self-destructive path dimmed his athletic glow, even as fans continued to celebrate his ring moments. 8. The final round. November 20th, 2012. A gunman opened fire on Camacho and a friend. He was hit in the face. In critical condition, the world watched and prayed. 4 days later, his mother made the heartbreaking decision to remove life support. At 50 years old, the Macho Man's fight was over. He was laid to rest, a hero in Puerto Rico, a flawed, complicated hero, a fighter who burned too bright, too fast. 9. Macho forever. His influence lives on. Every flamboyant entrance, every fighter who dares to be more than just a brawler owes something to Hector Camacho. In 2016, the sport finally gave him his due. A Hall of Famer, a showman, a legend. The Macho Man lives on. Camacho was posthumously inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2016, honoring his multi-tiered achievements. He influenced a new generation of fighters to embrace theatrics. Modern stars follow his ring walk template. Puerto Rico continues to celebrate him as a cultural hero. Flashy, courageous, and unapologetically himself. Critics still debate his ethics, in-ring tactics, and troubled lifestyle. But most agree, his charisma transcended boxing. He remains an emblem of both brilliance and caution. A man who soared spectacularly before crashing tragically. In his storied, chaotic life, Camacho left an indelible mark, one that boxing won't soon forget. Boxing is not just about belts and knockouts. It's about the story, the struggle, the sacrifice. And few stories are as electrifying, as heartbreaking, or as unforgettable as the Macho Man's. He came from nothing. He conquered everything. And in the end, he reminded us all that greatness is never simple and never forgotten. If you were moved by this story, remember to hit that like button, share this with a fellow boxing fan, and subscribe for more untold stories from the world of boxing.